relaxing. How long for?
Until morning. Guaranteed 9 hours.
Good. Where are you right now?
I'm standing over him. Where do you want me first?
Head into the main room. I've left something in there that I want you to use.
Very well. Heading there now. I'm in the main room. Where is it?
It's in a white box on the glass coffee table. Don't worry, Harold doesn't acknowledge my things, and he won't notice that it's been moved. I want you to open the box and take what's inside.
Retrieving now.
When you start with the thing that you do, I want you to break the necklace. I want him to find it broken. It was his first gift to me when we were dating. He'll know what it means when he sees it in pieces.
I'll keep it whole until then.
There are a few things I need to know, Mr. Ryder, before you start.
What do you need to know?
The drug you used. What are the side effects?
There were none. Besides a feeling similar to being drunk, there were no side effects to the drug I've used on your husband.
Will he be able to sleep through the noise?
Yes, but it is not your husband that I would be concerned about, Miss Green. It would be the people that live around you, your neighbors. What you're asking me to do might create some unwanted attention.
Shit. What can we do about that?
Not a lot, I'm afraid. But I have an idea. I require some information about your husband.
Go on.
Did your husband like to drink?
Yes. It was one of the few things he did like.
What was he like when he was intoxicated?
A buffoon.
When did he come to bed after a night of drinking?
Not until stupid o'clock in the morning. He would always stay up and watch the channels with those slutty women and their chat lines. After ogling them for a while, he would try to come upstairs and get his end away.
I need a time, Miss Green.
Around 3.
That's all I need to know. Here is what I'm proposing. It is still early enough in the evening for your husband to be awake. The neighbors will not be aware that he has gone to bed yet, so we can use that to our advantage.
He told me he was feeling unwell. Stupid bastard. All it's done is made it easier for me.
That's correct. With your husband being the man that he is, it wouldn't be out of character for him to turn on some music while he drank. I'll use this music to drown myself out. And don't worry, the music won't disturb him either.
Excellent.
Switching on the music now. Can you still hear me?
Yes, Mr. Ryder.
Good. I'm going to begin constructing the scene now. Just so we're clear, in terms of dominance, who shall we say led with the damage? Who caused the most to break?
In the narrative, it is my husband. He threw me about, breaking the tables and the mirrors and just about everything that wasn't nailed to the floor.
And that's doable. I'll make a start.
Do you still have my blood?
Yes, Miss Green. Applying it to the scene now.
Don't go overboard. I want to scare him, but I don't want him to think that he's killed me.
I understand, Miss Green. I'm a professional. I won't make those kinds of mistakes.
I'll hold you to that, Mr. Ryder.
assault scene is finished, the narrative will hold when your husband sees the carnage of the apartment, as well as the blood. The only thing left to do is install the thread.
Yes, Mr. Ryder, about the thread, as you call it. How exactly does this work? I understand the scene construction, helping to glue it all together, but I don't understand the rest.
It's very simple, Miss Green. Allow me to explain. I have with me a special suitcase. Inside that suitcase is what's known in the business as a dream machine. What I do is connect that machine to your husband's head as he sleeps. The machine will scan your husband's mind, looking for the area of the mind where short and long-term memory is stored. When found, I will then begin to implant customized images and suggestions into your husband's subconscious that will cause the mind to create scenarios. Like different colored threads coming together, they'll begin to build a picture. When the picture has been built, the mind will attempt to seek out physical evidence to corroborate the suggestions, or it will attempt to flesh it out within 24 hours. This is what the scene in the living room was for. Like you said, it would hold everything together like glue, and he will believe it. There is, of course, the physical evidence. In the case of your husband, that will need to be applied, such as scratches and physical bruising to your husband's hands, head, and chest. I will apply those once I have inserted the thread.
Does this work?
I wouldn't be here if it didn't. Now, the thread that I will be leaving inside your husband's mind will play out in a certain way. I need you to pay attention to the details, as well as the broad strokes, as you will need to remember these in order to avoid suspicion and glue his thread together.
Very well. I'm listening.
The scene starts with you, Miss Green, arriving from home. It is late evening. Your husband has been home for hours by himself, and as you enter the main room, you find him sat there, masturbating and drunk. You've had enough of this behavior, and you shout at your husband to get himself together. Your husband hasn't been pulling his weight in the relationship, as he had promised that the apartment would be clean and that he would be waiting for you. That you two could take the evening off at a restaurant. But the apartment is a mess, and has been sat there ogling other women. After shouting at your husband, you attempt to make your way to the bedroom, as you don't want to be in the same room as him. But he gets up from his chair and grabs your arm, screaming at you to stop. As he grabs your arm, you turn and slap his face. This sends him into a rage. His anger takes over and throws you against the wall, pinning you to it. What is said at this point is not important. What is important is that you manage to free yourself from his grip and push him away. This push results in him falling onto the coffee table and shattering it completely. After this fall, his anger is at its highest, and he stands himself up and runs towards you. You attempt to flee, but he holds you tightly by the neck and screams into your face. You spit into his, and he punches yours. You fall to the floor and sob. He then sees what he has done and what he is, and begins to break the apartment in an intoxicated rage. As you flee, he cries out to you, but it is too late. He spends the next few moments destroying everything in his sight, and then continues to drink into the night. The scene ends with him collapsing on his bed and waking up to find you gone, and the memories of the night before burning into his focus. He remembers his actions and knows that you won't ever be coming back.
What will he do then?
My best guess is that he will attempt to contact you. Do not answer the phone until the 8th or 9th time. Answering too early or to match the psychological effects that the scene would have had on you had it really happened.
I understand.
If you don't mind me asking, Miss Green, what is the real reason for you wanting this to happen? What kind of marriage did you two have that would have brought you in search of my services?
I guess I owe you an explanation. I never really loved my husband. Have you ever heard the phrase that you either marry your husband or you marry someone else's?
I am familiar.
Well, in the case of my marriage to Harold, I was never meant to marry him. I was one of those girls that was never meant to have a husband. I didn't need one. But at the time, when I first met Harold, my family had suffered the loss of both my brothers to Middle Eastern conflict. They were both soldiers. My father was afraid that our family would end with my brothers unless I was to marry a man and have children of our own. I had never wanted any of that, but at the time I wanted to see my father happy, and that meant bearing a grandchild, another link in the chain. Harold was the only person that didn't catch on that this was the only reason I wanted a marriage. I had asked other men, but they knew. Harold was a victim of my family's selfishness, and my own, I guess. He had his flaws, what man doesn't, but I didn't want to waste any more of my life to that lie. I want out, Mr. Ryder. I want to finally do something that I want to do. Be someone I want to be.
But why all this? Why not just leave him?
I can't, whilst my father still refuses to drop. He has only ever seen the good in Harold. But with the thread, we have created something that can finally give me that chance. I know that he will have believed that he hurt me, and that guilt might haunt him for the rest of his life. But I can't continue with this life. That, Mr. Ryder, is why you are here tonight.
I will not judge. I do this for the money. If you feel what you're doing is right, then I won't say otherwise.
So what else needs to be done, Mr. Ryder?
I just need to feed your husband the thread and rough him up a little. After that, the job is done.
Continue on, Mr. Ryder.
Will do. Apologies, Mr. Green. This isn't personal. It's done, Miss Green.
Well done. I will send the other half of the money into your account now. It has been an experience working with you.
And with you, Miss Green.